Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And the people of Aberdeen and the bigger, greater Aberdeen area will be celebrating today. 27 new drilling licences have been issued for the North Sea and Shetland. That secures the future of the oil and gas industry for quite some time to come. And of course, it's not just those who work directly in the industry, it's the support industries, it's the tertiary industries. And it's even then the wider economy, because all that money is flowing in and out. People are going to restaurants and bars and cinemas and pubs, all sorts of things. So the whole of the economy of the North East will boom and benefit for the next 2-3 generations as all these drilling licenses are handed out. And oil extraction and gas extraction continues unabated. And much to the annoyance, of course, of the Greens and particularly the SNP, who were really against the idea of people being happy, content, having a future, and actually having a bit of money in the bank. It appalls them because it makes them independent, makes them think, I don't need the SNP. I'm quite happy, thank you. Not, of course, the direction they want people to go. Poverty and misery is the order of the day for that lot. Anyway, we'll take a look at this to see why it annoys them so much and see why it is such good news for most people in Scotland, the majority, who will all benefit. Here goes. So, great headline, really, isn't it? Huge union boost for North East Scotland, and actually for the whole of Scotland. It particularly affects the North East, but it's good for the whole of Scotland. As 27 new drilling licences are handed out in the North Sea and Shetland. And of course, all that money flows directly into Aberdeen. There's all those people who live and work in Aberdeen or off on the shores, off on the offshore rigs and things, who come into Aberdeen, spend their money. They live there, they're investing, and they're going to do the house up, so B&Q will improve. It's just beneficial for everyone. The economy there will do fantastic because you're pulling money out of the ground. People think, you're getting the oil out of the ground. You're getting money out of the ground, and that always helps. So the North Sea Transition Authority said the move would boost the UK's energy security as well as help support jobs in Scotland. It is a boon for everyone. And the only people, of course, who are against it are the Greens, because they're stupid and ignorant and want poverty and misery, and the SNP, because they are owned and run by the Greens at the moment. It was, after all, the SNP who was saying that the oil industry would secure Scotland's future. And then they got into bed with the Greens and had their minds warped by these lunatic Marxists. Anyway, the North East of Scotland has been handed a major union boost after 27 new oil and gas licences in the North Sea were handed out. It makes it sound handed out like they were given away for free. The industries had to pay for the licences. It won't give them free, but it's money coming in. It's nice. The North Sea Transition Authority said they have been awarded in areas prioritised because they have the potential to go into production more quickly than the others. It said the licences in the central and northern North Sea and the west of Shetland were awarded first to let operators press ahead with their plans to explore and develop oil and gas resources. The 33rd oil and gas licensing round was launched in October 2022 with 931 blocks and part blocks made available for application. There's an awful lot of it, isn't there? You don't realise how much. Offshore Energies UK, the leading trade body for the sector, said the industry needs the churn of new licences to ensure there is no cliff edge in domestic production. That's right, it's got to be a pipeline in the truest sense. As one area sort of starts to fade down, then you open up this one that's in development, and then this one that's about to come online, and then this one that has just started. So there's always oil flowing. These are the very people, they said, we need to deliver reliable supplies of homegrown energy produced in the UK for the UK. And we all recognise that our energy system must change, and our industry includes companies that are expanding into renewables while using their expertise to pioneer even cleaner energy production. And that's all very fine and pleasant, and that's the usual gobshite they give. But what you've actually got to remember is most oil isn't used for energy production. Oil has got tens of thousands of uses. Petrol, indeed, is a waste product. And the trouble is, for all this green push, nobody's ever told me what they're going to do with all the petrol. Because when you crack that oil, petrol is left over. You can't let it evaporate into the air. That's really bad. And you can't store it. It's an explosive risk. So what do you do with it? If only there was some way, I don't know, of using it efficiently to do work somehow. Anyway, the reality of the energy transition is that we need both oil and gas and renewables in an integrated system to protect the UK's energy needs over the coming years. Yes, but it isn't just oil, isn't, like I say, it isn't just energy. Oil, millions of things. Last year, filling the fuel import gap cost the UK 117 billion. A lot of that's gas, but of course we could reduce that gas if we just fracked. We've got about 10,000 years of fracked gas. And indeed, all we need also to do is just open up the coal mines again. We've got 20 odd thousand years of coal if we just want to burn coal to make energy. So we're not actually short of energy. We're just short of people with balls. Anyway, he said that's a lot of money spent supporting the economic growth of other producing countries. And with careful management and collaboration, the UK can become the gold standard of energy transitions. Who cares about being the gold standard? You see, perfection is the enemy of, good enough. That's all we need to do is good enough. It follows the awarding of a licence for the Rosebank field near Shetland last month, which really annoyed the Greens. And polls show that the decision was popular with the Scottish public, because of course it is, because the Scottish public know how important it is. Money, much more important than any SNP wet dream of independence. The SNP said it is against new licences being handed out, even though it was the SNP who just a year ago was saying we need oil and gas to pay for Scotland's independent future. So kind of make your mind up. Offshore Energies UK said there are 284 active oil and gas fields in the North Sea, and that by 2030, around 180 of those will have ceased production due to natural decline. The NSTA said that oil and gas contribute about 3/4 of domestic energy needs, and official forecasts show that, as the country transitions, they will continue to play a role in the UK's energy mix for decades to come. Centuries, let's be honest, centuries to come. Let's put this out in context. You're not getting rid of oil anytime soon. Stuart Payne, Chief Executive, said ensuring that the UK's broad options for energy security is at the heart of our work, and these licences were awarded in the expectation that licensees will get down to work immediately. And they will, and of course they will. But if you truly want to do something good, start building nuclear power stations. It'll only cost you £1 trillion to build 36, which is all you need to run all the houses all electric and run all the cars all electric. That trillion does include the upgrading of the national grid. But once you've got that in place, and let's say it takes 100 years to do. It's likely to take 100 years to do. So you spend the next 100 years building these 36 nuclear power stations, upgrading the grid, doing all that. In 100 years' time, you can stop producing oil for fuel. You'll still need to drill oil because, people like things like food, lubricants, plastics, things like that. But you don't have to use all the excess oil for fuel. Now, once you find a way of storing it safely or converting it into something that isn't incredibly dangerous, then you've got it sussed. But, that's technology. But you've got 100 years to work that technology out. Anyway, climate activists hit out the licensing as backward. Yes, but they haven't got anything to offer. What are you going to offer instead? What are you going to do instead of oil? Oh, we're going to import the oil. We still need the oil, so you're going to import it from somewhere else. Okay, that's fine. And it's going to cost even more time, effort and fuel to get that oil from across the world to Britain, yeah? Okay, that's great. We're still going to put the same amount of oil. We'll just be having to transfer it and travel it further, which is worse for the environment. It's very hard being a Green. Hard going through life when you really are that stupid. Philip Evans of Greenpeace said, bullshit, 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 we don't care. Because he's saying that he wants to fight these in a courtroom and that it's bad for the environment. And yes. But until he can come up with a viable alternative, he might as well just shut his stupid face. Because literally, there is no other option. We live in a world where we need oil. He lives in a fantasy utopia. Anyway, I shall stop there, round off and come up. Good news though. Aberdeen, well done. Keep busy. Now, of course, those 27 licences are just the first of many, many more to come. And so you can easily see how North Sea oil production will continue for at least 100 years. It means that people who are not yet born will benefit from this until, for the whole of their life, their whole lives. And by then, hopefully, the 36 nuclear power stations that this country needs will have been built. Who knows? Better get down to it though, because it does take a long time. And the national grid took a long time to get where it is. It's not going to happen overnight. Anyway, I think that's brilliant news. I think the people of Aberdeen will be very happy, especially the people who own things like bars and restaurants. They'll be like, oh, we can keep going. We're going to be still here in 5 years' time. Super. Start planning the retirement. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you very much for that. I hope that's been enjoyable. I hope it's pleased your little oil-supping hearts, because we all do. See? Anyway, if you wear glasses, oil. If you drive a car, oil. Get on a train, oil. Bus, oil. Bicycle, oil. You know, no matter what you do, oil. And all these morons that go, oh, no more oil. You're going to have a very interesting life without it. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, keep using that oil. Just be prepared to use a little bit less, because it is very expensive. Cheaper than milk. Anyway, bye.